Somewhere, somewhen, a young Catholic couple told one of their children that if they were to masturbate, somebody would die. That child took it as a challenge and went on to create the world's first Lotus Field combo deck, and today that power becomes yours. Let's lose some friends. This Pioneer 60 card deck is based on the titular card Lotus Field, a hexproof land that taps for 3 mana as opposed to the usual 1, provided you sacrifice 2 lands when it comes in. Now that's a reasonable trade that we're going to immediately exploit, either by bringing Thespian Stage and making a copy of our Lotus Fields without sacrificing anything, or, in a surprise twist for the blue players, we're going to counterspell our own bullshit and simply stifle that sacrifice trigger on the stack. And that's honestly most of the deck's gimmick. With the mana afforded to you by 1 or 2 free Lotus Fields, you can do just about anything except get a text back. In fact, once you can untap a Lotus Field for less than 3 mana and have any way to draw cards, you win the game somehow, or they let Karuga eat you. Now, unfortunately, because every Simic player's ancestral home is the gated community, most of these win cons involve using Omniscience to loop some sort of godly expensive spell to kill your opponent. Now, you can draw your own deck to win with a card like Jace, Wielder of Mysteries. You can cast Peer into the Abyss multiple times to draw your opponent's deck. You can pretend you're playing a little game of Commander by using Approach of the Second Sun, or you can embrace your inner Flaming Queen and use Chandra. We're going to do that last one. The ideal end state for this deck is using Lier, Disciple of the Drowned, to double dip multiple copies of Bala Ged Recovery to cast Chandra multiple times, dumping all of her loyalty into her -X ability to subject our opponents to multiple hot loads of fire. But how do we get here? And the answer is almost always using our Lotus Field mana to cast Emergent Ultimatum. This lets us get 3 cards from our deck, and our opponent's going to get to put 1 of them back into our library, but there's just no choice like the illusion of one. One of these spots can be a flex one for whatever card you need in the moment, but as long as you pick Omniscience and Dark Petition, your opponent is forced to either give you Omniscience or give you the tutor to go get Omniscience. Isn't that fun? Continuing to work backwards, we're going to get to this Emergent Ultimatum or a Dark Petition for an Emergent Ultimatum through card draw, which for us is going to be Impulse and Pour Over the Pages, the latter of which is mana positive if you have 2 Lotus Fields, because they don't playtest shit in this game. Now, if you don't have 2 Lotus Fields, we're also bringing Sylvan Scrying to get you the lands you need into your grubby little paws, and Arboreal Grazer to vomit them out onto the field. Last but not least, we're also bringing the Vizier of Tumbling Sands and Hidden Strings to keep untapping our Lotus Fields and keep this party going. And that's the whole deck. The only interaction piece you need to worry about are a pair of 4-ounce gloves for after the game. And we've got a bunch of other lands, but they don't cheat as hard as Lotus Fields, so fuck them. Now, if you think you are good enough to count to 3 competitively, consider playing Lotus Field in my Pioneer Cockatrice tournament happening January 20th and 21st. 30 slots are filled and 90 remain for a shot at the $300 prize pool. Details are in my Discord, accessible via my channel page. Thank you all, and stay toxic.